Wildlife have migration patterns, and they move from place to place like they always have. With as much as Colorado has developed in recent years and the amount of people who are moving to our state, these roads are becoming more heavily traveled. And because of that, the risk of running into wildlife drastically increases. My father was coming home from a weekend away in the mountains with family, and an oncoming motorist hit an elk. They didn't see it. It was standing in the road at night and projected it onto the oncoming traffic. There was no way for him to see it coming, and it just came crashing through his windshield. The elk stopped the car dead in its tracks. It dawned on me when my father was killed that there was no wildlife fencing or protection for animals and for humans in that stretch of highway.
It's a huge problem. I mean, we had some highways where over 60% of the collisions were actually due to wildlife vehicle collisions. Statewide, there's about 4,000 wildlife vehicle collisions reported to State Patrol every year. People don't always file an accident report. They don't think it's worth it. And so we think there's, probably over 8,000 animals a year in Colorado on average that get killed.
You're losing an animal for no purpose and potentially killing or hurting a person. Wildlife corridor fences help eliminate that potential.
These systems work. The wildlife use them. They want to use them, and it is a safer environment for everybody, the wildlife included.
Wildlife crossings are really designed to essentially provide safe passage for animals as they move across the highway and keep them separate from traffic. But in order to get the animals to actually cross at the crossing structure location, you have to include wildlife fencing to kind of channel them to that location. So it's a system of sort of mitigating the vehicle collision and trying to provide safe passage across the highway.
One of the driving passions behind our family on the Highway 9 projects was I lost my parents on the Highway 9 corridor. It was an opportunity for the community to have a safer road. When the project was complete, you could feel the safety part of it. It made a big difference. These wildlife corridors are important, and the fact that you can keep the wildlife off the road are going to make safer roads all the way around.
Through monitoring crossing structures that we've constructed, we know that they're really effective. We can have an over 90% reduction in the number of wildlife vehicle collisions where we've properly constructed crossing structures and fencing at the right locations. We now know how to do it, and we know where to do it. It's just a matter of having sufficient funding and resources to actually address the problem.
This could absolutely save other people's lives. My dad was my person in life, so we miss him every day. And this is why I'm doing this, because no one should go through what we've gone through.
Colorado College incorporated in their State of the Rockies survey a question about wildlife crossings in 2024, and they found that 87% of registered voters supported putting wildlife crossings in where big game migration corridors cross major highways. So Coloradans are highly supportive of installing wildlife crossings where they're needed.
You're just saving all the wildlife at that point in time from a useless death, but you're also saving that human life.
For those that are unfamiliar with driving in the mountains of Colorado, this is a hazard that pops up all the time. Reducing these collisions means reducing emergency responses and just keeping people safe.
We really need to try and address this problem now and dedicate sufficient resources to building some more of these wildlife crossings and to preserving those migration corridors that lead to and from the crossing structures.
Everybody needs protection. That should be at the forefront of everything else we're doing. Make our roads safer, make our people safe, make our animals safe.